New report says homelessness continues to increase in Lane County, and right now there are no easy answers. Thank you for joining us. I'm Matt Templeman. Now, the county just released its annual point-in-time count, where the county looks at roughly how many people are experiencing homelessness at one time. KEZI 9 News anchor Jennifer Singh joining us live in the studio to break down the numbers and also show us how that data is going to be used.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. Well, the number of unhoused individuals across Lane County, as you says, continues to grow, and that trend was confirmed when the 2025 point-in-time count tallied 3,509 people experiencing homelessness on the night of January 29. That's a 14% increase from last year. Organizations that work with unhoused individuals say they're not surprised. According to the county, the increase is a direct result of a lack of housing across the region, particularly for those with low incomes. Many local nonprofits say they see that firsthand.
I mean, when we have so many of the folks who are at the Safe Sleep site who are employed and still can't afford housing, that's an indicator right there.
There's not a lot of just support in general for kind of a working family. So one medical incident, one loss of job, any little thing that can come up could push somebody into homelessness pretty quickly.
County officials determined that more than 33,000 units of housing are needed in the next 20 years to keep up with the current and predicted population of unhoused individuals across Eugene and Springfield alone. That's why organizations say their work is nonstop.
I think we have an incredibly compassionate community, and people really want to rise up and support their neighbors. And we see with just our data that these are local folks, and these are people who have been impacted by the rising cost of living, the rising housing market.
Without our services and services like us in the community, those numbers would be significantly higher than what they are now.
While the numbers, which are also an undercount, may seem daunting, it's also important to look at the number of people who are receiving shelter and help, because the number of those who were sheltered during the PIT count was 52% higher compared to the 2024 count.
It's can be hard if you're an everyday citizen and you're not plugged in, you're not involved, you're not volunteering, you don't receive the newsletter, you don't really know what's going on. You just drive around, you see the number of folks who are in tents. But I think it's important to really recognize and focus on the positive outcomes that we're seeing as a community as well, because it really is the success of the community.
It's important to note the count was conducted during an especially cold night when nearly 500 emergency shelter beds were made available, which likely made for a more accurate count compared to years prior. Some other numbers to note: from January 20, 2024 through May 12th of this year, Lane County and other groups were able to help 650 households transition from homelessness to permanent housing and prevent 787 households from falling into homelessness. Now, the housing crisis is something we've talked about time and time again, and this data once again shows the reality of it. On the state level, building more units of housing across Oregon continues to be one of Governor Tina Kotek's main priorities, including finding ways to be more creative. We're seeing this in the number of accessible dwelling units being built, the number of garages being transformed into rental units, as well as a recent push up in Portland to convert empty office spaces into affordable housing units. There's a lot of work to do, of course, and also a lot of uncertainty, as many nonprofits also now face budget shortfalls. But I'm told the key is staying optimistic and focusing on the wins. You can take a closer look at the data on the county's all-in dashboard on their website. For now, live in the studio, I'm Jennifer Singh.